Hey guys, welcome back to the FPL xGod podcast. This has been a busy summer for me, so I've tried to upload as little as possible. And now the FPL is starting, I'll be uploading every game week and some bonus videos here and there, which I recorded over the summer. So, the first video for FPL this year is ironically not about FPL, it's about Premier League as a whole. So I'm going to be creating a tier list or my own Premier League predictions from 1 to 20. So I'll be telling you why and like some things, but it won't be a very detailed video. And along with that, I will also be doing top scorers, top assists, first manager to get sacked, and young player of the year and stuff like that. So it's going to be a fun one, and like non-FPL watchers can also be part of this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the video to the channel, so it helps out a lot and I can reach out to more people. On those lines, I have created a league for Fantasy Premier League this year. I made one for Euros and I had over 100 people, so I thought why not make one for FPL. So this one, as you can see, is called League of X Gentlemen for FPL xGod, and the league code will be up everywhere on this video, on my profile, everywhere. So please go and join the league. It's a free to play league and you will also get some prizes like a top 10 or every month. I haven't decided that. It's going to be based on number of people who join. But as of now, I have over 200 people on the league. So it should be a fun one. And I'm very well set for the upcoming league. I'm scared of one game week, everything can change, everything you've thought of. So along with that, I'm also making an Instagram account for this channel, so please go follow that. It's going to be almost as good as my Twitter. I'll be posting quite regular and my videos will be up there too. So let's move on with the predictions. So I thought about it a lot, and I'll be starting from a random order, so people don't really skip to the end and just see my final positions and stuff like that. And they'll miss out on a lot of details that I keep mentioning here and there. So I'll actually start from the top and I'll just fill in the spots. So for me, the top four is pretty clear. If you just look at the squads, both the Manchester clubs, Chelsea and Liverpool, are far and above all the other clubs. For me, United do not seem like a title winning side yet because of their manager. The other three have top managers and United don't really have one. Interesting fact, the only trophy Ole has won as a manager is a Premier League player, manager of the month, when he was a caretaker manager. So yeah, that says a lot. Not that means that I think United finishing fourth. They will fight for the title, but I don't think they have what it takes to actually go and win it. I want to play it safe for the title charge because Manchester City just look unstoppable. They just keep reinforcing, and if they get Harry Kane, there's nothing stopping them. So I'm going to bet on that. Chelsea are building a brilliant squad. They are the champions of Europe right now, and they're signing Lukaku. They might just sign Koundé. They look like a very good team right now. And I will be putting United at third, and as goes Liverpool at fourth. Liverpool on paper, like for the playing 11, they have one of the best playing 11s in the world, but they just cannot they lack the squad depth as compared to especially the Manchester City or even a Chelsea. For me, Liverpool, just for that reason, just miss out on the title, and they'll end up finishing a comfortable fourth. 5th, 6th, 7th are actually similar teams. I don't really know who will finish 5th. Arsenal have a big advantage because they do not have any European competitions, nothing else to focus on. Leicester are just a very well managed team, a very well run club. They look like that they have been reinforcing everywhere. Patson Daka is a great signing. Harvey Barnes is back. Kelechi looks like a great new player. They're in for Tarkowski. Their defenders are injury prone. If you look at Fofana and Evans, Fofana's out for almost a season. Castani, Ricardo Pereira, James Justin. All these are injury-prone players, and to be fair, statistically, Schmeichel did not have the best of last season. So for me, that is why they are sixth. They might just actually, I'll be putting Tottenham above them. For me, they're seventh now. Tottenham under Nuno look like a good side. Like, you haven't really seen them play, but they look like a good side on paper. If Harry Kane doesn't leave, then they're definitely above Arsenal also for me. But I'm assuming Kane does leave for his own good, and they finish a sixth. Son will rise up to the occasion. He will play well. Nuno is reunited with Doherty. He loves Doherty. At the wing backs, Reguilon and Doherty will be attacking a lot. Christian Romero won Serie A Defender of the Season. He has like 4 goals, 5 assists to his name last season. He's a good defender. He should like take the defense to another level. So for me, that's the top 7. I will talk about. Actually, let's go in line then. For 8th to 12th. 8th to 12th is. All of these are really nice clubs, and they're coming up really well. You want to see them fight for the top 4 for the European competitions, the Europa League, Confederations Cup. But the quality in the top sides is increasing more and more every day. So I'm not really sure about that. West Ham would have been fighting 7th for me if they did not have Europa League. It's a kind of new thing for them. Untested, they lack squad depth. Antonio's hamstring problems a lot contribute for them being in this bracket rather than that bracket. After that, I will be putting Leeds. Bielsa is one of the best coaches in the world. He's improving his players every year. Every year they keep getting better, and you never know what their ceiling is. Rafinha is absolutely brilliant. Bamford has been perfect for them. Meslier, the defense looks solid. They did lose a left back, but they got Firpo. They haven't lost any of their players, which is very good for them. Especially a Rafinha or a Meslier, or especially Calvin Phillips. They're lucky to have all of them, and they can fight for another season. Along with them, for me, it's. So I'll just put the other 3 teams who are in that level for me. It's Aston, Everton, and Wolves. So I'm not really sure who finishes where. Aston have recruited very, very well with Danny Ings, Buendia, and Leon Bailey coming in for the attack just to replace that Jack Grealish spot. He is amazing. Like, you know they're going to struggle without him. But have they done enough to sustain without him? Their defense is solid. We all know that. Emi Martinez is a great keeper. To be fair, the second half of the season, their defense wasn't the best. Leeds also, people think their defense improved second half, but they were the worst team away from home. They were very good at home. That's why their stats look better. But they were the worst away from home. And with fans coming in, I don't know how much it gets better or worse. Everton have lost Carlo Ancelotti. Their last transfer window was Alan, James Rodriguez, Doucouré. They had really nice players coming in. And this season, you aren't really caring about Everton. They have Rafa Benitez in charge. I don't really have high hopes for them, so I'm putting them after Wolves. Wolves have signed another Portuguese manager, surprise, surprise. They look like a good side. Raul Jimenez, who I really rate highly, is back. I hope he has a good season for his sake. They have signed a few of the Barcelona boys like Semedo and Trincao. They're good. Let's see how the season turns out. Last season, they kind of just gave up after Jimenez's injury. I hope they fight for it this time. So for me, the next clubs are in kind of a league of their own are Brighton and Newcastle. Both have decent projects going on. Steve Bruce I do not rate as highly as Graham Potter, but Brighton haven't signed a striker. That's the one thing they lack. Their defense is very good. They did lose Ben White and Lamptey to injuries, but Brighton can do so much better if they just have a striker or Maupay starts firing. They can easily push for spots with these clubs, but for now they lie with Newcastle. I'd put Newcastle above them right now. Newcastle actually did so well towards the end of the season, especially with Joe Willock. And right now they've almost signed Joe Willock. ASM looks fit. Callum Wilson looks fit. That looks like a scary side. And their defense, they do scrap out their defense, which is kind of a good thing for this level of a club. And their attack looks very, very exciting for now. As for fifth, so I am not really sure who to relegate out of these clubs. I really like how Brentford, like the entire story of how Brentford were bought out, how they use sports analytics the most, and like for me, like them being XG intensive and like doing the Moneyball strategy matters a lot. I want a club like that to do well, so I'm not going to put them for relegation. Early, like about 2 weeks ago, if you asked me to make this, I would put Crystal Palace dead last. For me, Patrick Vieira is not a good manager. I do not rate that team highly anymore. They've made some interesting signings. I like they've reinforced their defense. Joachim Anderson is a very good player. Guehi I've heard a lot about, and they also signed Gallagher. Like, they look like a good team, but I don't trust their manager. They're like the 17th or 18th, just escaping relegation or getting relegated. I think the team's experience in surviving relegation will help them out in finishing 17th. I don't see Burnley going down. They talking about scrapping out like just goalless draws or 1-0 victory. Burnley are kings of that. Sean Dyche can manage again, I'm sure. I'd put it like this. I feel bad relegating Norwich, Watford, but the most for Southampton. I love Hasenhüttl, but I think they've kind of lost the plot. The one thing that was going perfect for them was Danny Ings, and he's gone. They haven't looked like they are replacing him. They signed a relatively unknown striker today, but I don't rate them very highly right now. For me, it's going to be one of them, Brentford and Crystal Palace getting relegated, and along with Norwich and Watford. I can't say much about those teams. They have, like, Norwich did sign Rashica and they signed Sargent. They're good youngsters coming out from the Bundesliga, but I haven't seen Norwich enough, and I think for especially in 2021, clubs that have been in the Prem for longer have more resources to take care of it. They have the mentality to handle it, and they will survive the relegation. For me, more and more every year, the promoted clubs are going to get relegated. Leeds, Wolves, they just fought up, and they've reached this tier. Just look at that tier. That's Everton, like an old legend. Aston Villa, Leeds, and Wolves have just come up, and West Ham have had a really roller coaster of the last 4-5 seasons. But yeah, that's the tier list for me and my Premier League predictions from 1 to 20. We'll move on to some top scorers managed to get sacked and other stuff soon. Before we move on to the final predictions, here is a sneak peek to one of my first drafts. So I'll say one of my first drafts because I never really saved drafts. I just like kept thinking about them. But as you can see, I have Bruno and Salah both in it, and Trent. I have not gone for any of the premium strikers, but gone for Antonio and Callum Wilson. Adam Armstrong has just been transferred in. I'm a little excited about him. Let's see, as a third striker, I think I can have him. Shimikas has allowed me to make this team. I have to go with our Jota because of that one. But like obviously you can have players like Rafinha, Jota, the other template players, or Asufal. But I think my keepers I won't be changing, Sanchez and Foster. Other things can shuffle around. The only mainstays will be Salah, Bruno, Antonio, Trent, and Luke Shaw. Everyone else is unsafe. So yeah, let's move on to the final predictions. So these are the categories I'll be listing for this prediction video. So let's move on with most goals. I don't think I don't want to bet against this guy. Obviously, there is Romelu Lukaku who's coming in, Harry Kane, and I think that's it. And other than that, it has to be the main guy, Mo Salah. I think no one takes the most goals away from him. He's always hungry. The only thing that works against him this year is AFCON. He will be missing approximately 3 games. He hardly ever misses 3 games in an entire season. So that's kind of a big thing for him. Maybe just because of that, I will be going for Lukaku for this one. just because of AFCON. Otherwise, it's always Salah for me. Most assists is again between two people for me, Kevin De Bruyne and Bruno Fernandes. So Kevin De Bruyne, if he plays the entire season, it's always him. I can't look beyond Kevin. But Bruno Fernandes has been so good. He had one of the highest XAs throughout the top 5 leagues last season. He is one of the best players, but the issue for him is actually a good thing for United. They just bought Jadon Sancho for more than 18 mil. And that guy is one of the most creative players in the top 5 leagues again. So I think Bruno does not have to do that much on his own anymore. So just because of that, I'll be going for Kevin De Bruyne. And most clean sheets. So that's an interesting one. I would be tempted to go for Edouard Mendy because Chelsea are a great defense. But just because Tuchel has taken it a level above Pep and he also rotates the keepers sometimes, I will be going for Edison. But I have the strange feeling that Zach Steffen is going to get a few games this season. So let's just hope that does not happen and this prediction is right. As for best player, so I think with keeping the predictions in line, how I've put Manchester City at first, most assists to Kevin De Bruyne, it will be harsh to not put Kevin De Bruyne for this. It's an easy one for me. Obviously, all the other people for the most goals and assists that I've mentioned are in the best player slot, but I don't see anyone else taking it from Kevin. Best young player. So the rule for that is you have to be 21 before the season starts. So I was looking at Mason Mount or like a Phil Foden who just won it, but he's 22, so I can't go for that anymore. I have finalized between two people. I can't finalize between two people. It's Mason Greenwood and Bukayo Saka. So for me, Mason Greenwood would be the better player, but United have a lot of nice players in the attack, so Mason might not get to play the entire season. So for those reasons, I'll be going for Bukayo Saka because he's to basically carry a team all on his own. So just because of that, he takes it from Mason. So underachievers, I'm going for a team that everyone is pipping to do decently or like above what I think they will finish. So if you look at my table that I've made, I think Everton look like the pretty apparent that they're the underachievers. They're a big club, they should be doing better, and I think finishing in the bottom half does not do them any good. As for overachievers, I would be tempted to go for something like a West Ham, but West Ham have Europa League. That will take a lot out of them. So I think if Brighton sign a striker, it's Brighton all the way for me. But I'll be giving it to Newcastle. I've been getting like some decent vibes from that team. I never really rated them. If you asked me like 6 months ago, I would say that they definitely should get relegated, but I think they're turning it around. Obviously, I can put like a Wolves over there and they'll do equally overachieving, mainly because of the last season. I can also put Leeds there, but like for me, they're not overachieving. They're doing what they should be doing. Everyone says the second season syndrome for a promoted club, but I don't believe in that. Like I think if you're a good enough club, you can stay up there. For that reason, I will be going for Bielsa as best manager again. He's just a great man. Like he improves the team, and if the club and him gel well, you can see the results. And I think Leeds are just going upwards from here, at least till they have Bielsa. First manager to be sacked. So I haven't given this that much thought. Just by looking at the teams, I think it will be Rafa Benitez. Like I'm really not rating Everton for this season, and Rafa Benitez does not make it past Christmas. UCL winner. So I would have obviously gone for Barcelona for the UCL winner or Manchester City, but now there's a super team in the world that you cannot ignore them. Only one guy is winning it, and it's Messi. I'm just writing Messi over here. It would have made sense if I wrote like this video was coming out before he signs. I know he's signing tomorrow morning, but wherever he goes, if he stays, he goes. It's Messi. Mostly at PSG, and that super team can win anything right now. If they can be in every competition, they can win a treble or quadruple, anything. So yeah, those are the predictions from my side. You can see the table. I'll be doing one at the like after Christmas one maybe, and one after the end of the season to just see how I did, and then we can like compare to other people. I've seen many people upload Premier League prediction videos in the last one day, especially one I saw was Spencer, who actually posted right after I was done recording my predictions. We've got the same teams getting relegated. Our bottom six is exactly the same positions. He's only rated the Merseyside clubs better than me, and he's rated his own club West Ham below me. But yeah, good luck to everyone, and let's see how the prediction goes. FPL video coming out tomorrow. It's going to be a big one. It's me talking about every single possibility that you should be considering, and what players to go for, what's the combination that suits you, and what ultimately you want to reach that goal, whether it's you're beating a mini league or finishing top 10k, top 100k, whatever it may be. You can easily do that. You just game week 1 is the most important one. You should go with like a short players, because you don't know how the new ones are going to perform. So having someone like a Bruno and Salah helps you do that. So yeah, more on that in tomorrow's video, and good luck for now. Please like, share and subscribe, and comment your predictions or what you would change from mine, especially the most goals. I want to see what everyone thinks. Thank you.